Hello. I've got a topic this week that no matter what age you are, it should be a topic that you should be interested in. And I'm going to talk about the 7 biggest mistakes in probate and how to avoid them. I'll be back in a moment with details. Hello, I'm Errol Wartz with Landmark Realty in Hays, Kansas. I want to talk to you about the 7 biggest mistakes in probate and how to avoid them. And mistake number 1 is failing to plan ahead. No matter what age you are, if you own property, it's good to have a plan for probate, a plan to see what happens to your property after you pass away. And it's important to make that plan ahead of time so that your family will not have to deal with the consequences of not having a plan after you've passed. And mistake number 2 is choosing the wrong executor. It's important to find an executor who is detail-oriented and who can get things done in an efficient manner. That way the costs of the probate can be, well, it can be less than what it would normally be if you had someone who is not very efficient. So it's important that you get someone who is dedicated and who is willing to serve as the executor of your estate, and that needs to be named ahead of time. And mistake number 3 is not having a will. You know, it's very important, whether you're 20 years old or whether you're 90 years old, you should have a will. Because if you own property, any type of property, whether it's a real estate or whether it's a car or whether it's some personal property, you should have a will so that after your passing, the assets of your estate can be distributed as you wish them to be distributed. If you die without a will, then the state takes over and they will appoint an executor, and the state will take care of how your property should be distributed. And that may make some of your relatives very unhappy. So a will is very, very important. And mistake number 4 is not having an alternative or an alternate executor. You pick the primary executor, but what happens if that person becomes ill and is unable to perform the duties that they should to get the estate settled in a timely manner? Then you should have named an alternative executor who can do the same job as the primary should the primary become incapacitated. The number 5 mistake is failing to inventory your assets. You know, we all have relatives who have passed away and they didn't have an inventory of their assets, and people fight over whether this goes to Aunt May or Uncle Joe. If you have an inventory made up of your assets, that helps the executor distribute your assets to the proper people the way that you want it done after your passing. And mistake number 6 is failing to pay too much in taxes. You can prevent paying a lot of taxes by going into probate. It's important to have that plan in place, and if you have problems, if you need to seek advice, see a probate attorney. You can also set up a trust, but it's important that you set these things up ahead of time so that your estate can save on taxes. And number 7, and probably the most important, is not closing the estate quickly enough. Your executor should be able to close your estate quickly, pay off your assets, your debts, and pay off any other taxes that may be accumulated on the property, and also take care of just closing everything out. Now, if they don't, they can become liable for your debt. And so you need to make sure that when you do appoint that executor, that it's someone who will do it in a diligent manner and make sure that it's done correctly. Again, if you need more information about this, seek a probate attorney, or you can call me and I'll try to help you out a little bit with the information that I have available. My number is 785-623-1634. And if you like this information and if it was of value to you, I would appreciate it if you just, well, click on that little thumbs up button in the lower left-hand corner. And of course, always invite you to subscribe to our channel, and I'll be back next week with more information that I hope will be helpful to you.